that everybody here realizes the emotional turmoil that victims of bullying face, as well as the turmoil of those kids who are doing the bullying. I'd like to know from a psychological perspective, from a behavioral health perspective, from just a human perspective, do you think you're going to change the culture where kids are so cruel and mean sometimes that they often just aren't comfortable with being who they were born to be?
I don't think I'm going to, certainly. You know, I would say that over time, what I would like to do, working with someone like yourself and working with all of the experts that I've become so excited to hear from, that I'm hoping that the world undergoes, or the culture rather, undergoes what I have recently learned to be a psychological autopsy. I would like to do a psychological autopsy on as many bullies and victims as possible. How do we understand what breeds hatred, what breeds anger, and what are the signs that a youth empowered like Alyssa can pick up on within the school environment and say, hey, something's not quite right. I'm really happy that you're here today because I recently have been doing some research on violence within schools, and something that I noticed in particular was that in the unfortunate tragedy of Columbine, there were actual very specific signs of violence and hatred even within their schoolwork. It ranged from bullying towards the perpetrators, as well as there being actual signs very early on of violent behaviors, violent messaging, violent tendencies in general. There was an essay written by one of the students that said, I have dreams that I X, Y, and Z, and the X, Y, and Z was a blueprint for the tragedy of the day. Why was there not a teacher that read that essay and said, something is wrong? Why was there not a student in that school that said there is violent behavior happening in the student body? Why was there not someone in Alyssa's school that said there is violent behavior happening to Jamie? These are the things that I want to really focus on from a scientific, psychological, and research perspective. I think that some of the answers really lie in us being more intelligent about the climate of society.
No, just ask a question, Lady Gaga. Part of this is not just the bullying, it's also the bravery.